Hi guys, my name is Jessica and today I will be presenting the Larry Nassar case. Larry Nassar was a trusted physician who worked for the USA Gymnastics and Michigan State University. Under the disguise of medical treatment and therapy, he sexually abused many athletes, mostly young, for more than 2 decades. There was over 150 athletes like Jessica Howard and Olympian Jamie Nassar. He began working with the gymnastics as early as the 1980s, eventually becoming the national team doctor. He was born on August 16, 1963, and later convicted at the age of 54 in 2018. He had built up his reputation as a respected professor and physician at MSU, and many parents and even athletes thought he was really trustworthy and caring, which was the qualities that helped him conceal these decades of abuse. Like I mentioned in the beginning, he used his position as power to commit repeated sexual assaults on minors, which led to multiple convictions under Michigan criminal sexual conduct laws. In addition to that, he also, investigators found over 37,000 files of child pornography, which added to his sentence. And these were occurring in Michigan, in Ingham County and Eden County. So just like a quick timeline of the abuse from the 1990s all the way to 2015, there was this occurring, the abuse was occurring during medical treatments. Until 2014, there was one complaint, but there was no action taken. And until 2016, the Indianapolis Star published an article exposing the decades of abuse from sports, and they found that there were so many complaints on Nassar, but none were being executed. Then in 2017, he was arrested on child pornography charges and later charged with multiple counts of sexual conduct. He was sentenced to 40 to 175 years in prison. There was many victim impact statements during his trials. Later on, there was a Netflix documentary called Athlete A that talked more about what happened in the USAG. His crimes were not just random. He knew what he was doing. He knew where and when to commit it. He targeted young gymnasts. He exploited the institutional trust and took advantage of his, what he did at the USAG and the MSU. For example, Rachel Denhollander in the documentary explains how he would abuse her under a towel, even with her mom in the room, which is pretty crazy. So the reporting investigation, like I said, there were many reports, but many of them were ignored or dismissed. The media exposure was when until the Indianapolis Star published an investigation that revealed the long history that the USAG had of mishandling sexual abuse complaints. That's when law enforcement started to get involved, especially the FBI. Larry Nassar faced both federal and state trials. He was sentenced to 60 years in federal prison for possessing thousand images of child pornography. The following year, in the Michigan courts, he pleaded guilty to multiple counts of sexual abuse and was sentenced to 40 to 175 years. One of the judges famously told him, "I just signed your death warrant." And these sentences ensured that he will spend the rest of his life in prison. So some statistics: sexual harm in sports is widespread and often begins early. More than 1 in 3 athletes are reported receiving unwanted sexual comments or looks, and about 11% experience unwanted sexual contact. And those who are at higher risk were like the LGBTQ, athletes with disabilities, or elite athletes. These statistics highlight the sexual harm in sports, that it's not rare, and it is a systemic issue that requires stronger protections and accountability. So the broader impact is changed the ways institutions handle abuse, emphasizing accountability, transparency, and server protection. They also created the Protecting Young Victims from Sexual Abuse and Safe Sport Act of 2017, which it just mandates reporting law. It mandates you have to report suspected abuse. This case highlights the importance of vigilance and reporting abuse, especially in organizations where authority figures have unchecked powers. Parents, coaches, and athletes need to stay alert to warning signs, and parents need to be more present during medical treatments and coaching sessions. We need to create a safe space and anonymous and trusted reporting channels for athletes. This is just some of the athletes that were involved in the Larry Nassar case, some of the victims. Thank you so much, and here are my references.